Hi guys, Candy here, welcome back to my channel. Today's video of Battle of the Brands is between 3 different makeup sponges. Now makeup sponges are everywhere. I swear they are popping out on a consistent basis with like a new textures, new consistency, new shapes. The list just goes on and on. They're always coming out with something new to apply our foundations with and our other makeup with. So I have 3 different makeup sponges here and I'm just going to give you an overall view of the price, the consistency, how I feel it applies my makeup, and actually which one's better and which one's better for the price. So if you're interested in hearing that, then just keep watching. So the 3 different makeup sponges that I have here are of course the Beauty Blender. Now everybody knows about the Beauty Blender. This is probably like one of the most highly regarded makeup sponges there is. And the Beauty Blender's price ranges around $34 New Zealand. I went without this for a very long time and then I decided to just splurge and buy it, so I've been using it now probably almost for a couple of months. The next makeup sponge that I'm going to be talking about is the QVS brand. Now I don't quite know what QVS stands for. It's sort of just your stock standard sort of pharmacy line of beauty sort of equipment and tools and products. Relatively cheap. I think this cost around $10. I think it might have actually been $9.99, and I've had it for, I think I've had it for a good year or so now. And the last makeup sponge that I'm going to be talking about is this little sponge here. Now this hasn't got a brand. This is from Kmart. Now I know that if you're in America or anywhere else other than Australia and New Zealand, you may not have a Kmart, and this one was $4 New Zealand. So I'm just going to talk about a little bit about these sponges on the whole. So I've been using this Kmart one the longest. I've been using this for like a number of years and I really enjoyed it. Now I enjoy my foundation to be of a fuller coverage. I like fuller cakey coverage. I don't like anything light. I don't like anything sort of natural looking. I'm not into that. So I purchased the Beauty Blender and I've heard a lot of amazing things about this, but unfortunately for my skin and for what I enjoy out of my foundations, I just don't love this like I thought that I would. It applies your foundation almost quite sheer no matter what foundation it is. So even if you've got a really thick full coverage foundation, this Beauty Blender seems to make it go quite sheer anyway. I don't think it really absorbs the product. I don't know where the product goes. Even if I use extra product, I don't know what happens, but it still just applies it in almost a sheer manner. It's almost like an open sort of celled sponge, if that makes any sense. Like it's quite light, it's quite like fluffy, and it's got like a lot of open, like you can physically see the like sort of the gaps I guess in the sponge that make it sort of spongy. This does leave, to me, impressions on your skin. I feel like if I look close up to my foundation, I can see that sort of texture on my skin. And this is in fact an authentic Beauty Blender, so it's not that it's a fake knockoff one and that's why it's not 100% to my liking and I'm not raving about it like everybody else. I do however really enjoy using the Beauty Blender for my concealer because it does make my concealer look absolutely airbrushed. Was it worth $34? Probably not. Just for concealer it just seems a little bit gimmicky and I don't know, like I can see how people like it, but for me personally it wasn't worth my $34. My next sponge, this sponge I absolutely hate. This is the QVS sponge. I absolutely hate this sponge. From memory I think it's like a latex sponge, so if you're allergic to latex you're going to steer clear of this one. This one is kind of a consistency that's a little bit, it's kind of in between. It's got a little bit of that sort of celled structure like the Beauty Blender, so it's kind of like, I would almost call it a medium consistency, so it is a little bit harder than the Beauty Blender, but it does have that little sort of texture. I find that this absorbs all my foundation. All the foundation goes straight into the sponge and it just doesn't give a very good finish that I particularly like. It gives almost a patchy finish, so I use this for powders and sort of powders only. Now the Kmart sponge, this is my favourite sponge. I love this sponge. Like I've had friends who only use Beauty Blenders and I'm like, go get the Kmart sponge, and they try the Kmart sponge and they hate it. But for me personally, this is my favourite. This is very firm, so this is a very firm sponge. You can't see any sort of surface to it. The cells in the little holes in the sponge are so small, so this doesn't absorb any product whatsoever. You can dampen it as well though, and it does blow up in water, so it does absorb, but it really doesn't absorb any foundations at all. And I love a really thick full coverage because of that. Because no foundation can kind of get into the sponge, I feel it gives like a really thick, really full coverage finish, and I absolutely love it. Love this one for that. So to sum up the battle of the brands, this is going to be a really tough one because I think it really depends on what kind of finish you're looking for in your foundation. Are you looking for a really light coverage? Are you looking for a really thick full coverage? If you're looking for a thick full one, definitely give this Kmart one a go. If you've got a Kmart anywhere near you, and stock up, it's only $4, so it's just so worth the money. And if you really enjoy like a really sort of a really airbrushy looking thin natural sort of finish, then your Beauty Blender is probably the one that you're really gonna like the most. But my overall winner is definitely has to be this Kmart sponge. Kmart sponge, you are my life. I've got 2 others stocked up in my cupboard waiting for me because I love it that much. So if this video helped you at all in your sponge buying purchases, then definitely give me a big thumbs up and let me know down below. Let me know down below if the Beauty Blender is actually your holy grail and why you love it so much. I've also heard that the Beauty Blenders may have different textures for the different coloured sponges. I don't know how true this is. To me, I think that's just, I don't know if I can believe that because I imagine it's the same product, it's just dyed a different colour. I don't know. Don't forget to like this video and don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on my video. I upload 3 times a week and you'll be seeing my face in the next one.